Thank you very much, Sue. Thank you all for having me. I'm going to be speaking about Calopia. Can everyone hear me okay? Great, great. And if you could kindly turn off your cell phones, that'd be great. Just we're doing a recording here. So I'm going to speak about what this word means and cause shopping in general. So Calopia was endorsed by the BC Humanist Association, the board of directors, a few months ago, and I'm going to explain what that actually means in terms of an endorsement. In terms of my background, I have about 20 years software development experience, 3 years as the international coordinator of philosophy dinners, and some volunteer experience as well, including the Fred Victor Center, which is a homeless shelter in Toronto, and more recently, Dine with Dignity in Vancouver, BC. So cause shopping, you may have not heard this phrase before, but isn't it great to create a new phrase, right? The process of seeking out a cause, i.e. a local charity, that aligns with your values, which you can support within a community of like-minded people. Now I'm going to expand on this. So the main problem with current cause shopping, I want to talk a little about this first. So could be apathy, laziness, lack of time, lack of passion, could be a lot of things, right? What about cause envy? I've noticed this at different dinner parties. Somebody's asking, what are you doing lately? Where have you been? And the person says, oh, I've actually been in Africa. I've been helping build a school. I've been helping the homeless in my city. I've been helping seniors. And there seems to be a lot of awe and envy. Oh, wow, that's really great. I wish I had sort of a cause as well. So there's something missing to make cause shopping much easier, in my opinion. I believe it's one comprehensive list of local organizations associated with all major causes in your city. Scratch that, for all major cities. Let's think bigger. So we'll return to cause shopping in a minute, but first, what kinds of shopping opportunities are we already very familiar with? Opportunities to improve our appearance, opportunities to escape on vacations, opportunities for entertainment. We're all familiar with these things. And of course, online shopping opportunities to bring us love, online dating. So what about shopping opportunities that can bring us meaning, purpose, community, and fulfillment? So I believe that making a positive difference in the world can help with these things. And I think this is part of cause shopping. So in order to be able to support a cause, you first need to shop for one. And that's where Calopia comes in. So it's a website being developed to help with the process of cause shopping. So in contrast then to regular shopping, cause shopping is not about making your outer self look better. It's about discovering who you are on the inside. It's not about escaping as much as it's about becoming more aware and engaged in life. It's about getting you off the couch and adding more meaning to your life. It's about reducing the isolation, loneliness, and depression in modern society. It's about building community and shared values, and a desire to make the world a better place. It's also about making time to celebrate how far we've come and realizing the work that still remains to be done. So I believe the process of cause shopping involves 3 stages: self-discovery, community search, and engagement. So stage 1, self-discovery. What do you truly value? There's not a given specific default time during the week when we have to know what we truly value. Life is busy for a lot of people. So it could be justice, compassion, equality, the planet. These are pretty good, right? What about another way to think about this question? What makes you angry? Watching the news might help this. Could be homelessness and income inequality. Could be bullying. Could be being told that people are not able to legally die on their own terms. It could be damage to the environment. It could be violence against women. So Calopia is all about providing categories of causes to help you discover what you truly value. So if you value the environment, for instance, you might want to find an organization that works with conservation, or community gardens, or sustainable food. If you value human rights and equality, you might want to find an LGBT support group, a group that's working on right to die legislation, or a secularist group, such as humanist group. And this is what Calopia looks like. I'm just going to get into it right now. So as you can see, there's various categories divided into compassion and safety, rights and support, health, and community and environmental. Foreign aid. So a lot of different categories. So within each cause category, there's two different things. There's links to local groups and videos. So when you select a category, you get links and videos on the left side and a website of local groups on the right side. So as in the following example. So I'm just going to click on support for seniors, and without doing anything, it's already bringing up a web page of the Senior Services Society. There's links here on the top left, and there's videos. And so you can just click on a video, and I'm actually going to show this in a little bit larger screen, but the idea is that you can watch videos while you're kind of surfing the web, while you're cause shopping. So I'm going to show this one right here.
I decided to become a hospice volunteer 3 years after my husband died. When I tell people I'm a hospice volunteer, almost always the first thing they say is, "Isn't that hard? How do you do that?" And I tell them, no, it's not. And it's to be able to help people go through a difficult time, whether it's the family or the patient, and even the staff, is very rewarding. What I've found for the most part is people enjoy talking, and they enjoy talking about their lives, about their history, about normal things in life. I think they really enjoy sharing their story with somebody who's never heard it before. One gentleman that I visited with really had lived through some incredible events in history, and he would share these stories with me. And these were things that I learned about in school, things out of textbooks. And one day he looked at me and he said, "Am I boring you?" And I just laughed. I'm like, no. And I think that was early on when I started volunteering, and that really drove home for me how incredible everybody's life is. At Hospice of the Western Reserve, I really feel that the volunteers are very valued. We get a lot of training, which is wonderful. I think that's somewhat rare in the world, that a non-paid volunteer is respected as much as a regular employee.
So personal testimonials are a key aspect of the cause shopping experience, because it's about getting to know why people are involved and what they do to further their cause. Because again, if you're really new to cause shopping, and what's hospice volunteering? You might not even know what that is. What do they do? You can find out. So I'm also providing assistance to allow people to upload their own videos. This is actually the key part of this. It's not just using these videos that were created by a marketing group of a senior center or different organizations. It's about people using their own laptops, using their own webcams, uploading their own videos of their volunteer experience. So it's about leveraging these videos, these testimonials, influencing people around the world. So somebody could create a violence against women video in terms of that movement in the UK. His name could be Patrick Stewart. I'll get to that later. And they can influence somebody in a completely different country. And that's the power of YouTube, the power of videos. Okay, so that's all stage one. Stage two now is finding a community of like-minded people who share your values and support your cause. Don't they look friendly? Okay, you find an upcoming public event, and I'm even going to go right into Calopia here and show you an example. So let's see here. I go into violence against women. I know that there's an upcoming event here. Okay, so just waiting for the internet. So at the Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter, there's a Walk for Rape Relief 2015. So this, you could consider this a public event. There's a map and everything. So it didn't take me very long to find this event. So attend an upcoming public event. Talk with members and board members, if possible. Take in the experience and get a feel for the community. And try to find your place along what I call the spectrum of engagement. So on one side, being completely not engaged. On the other side, dying for a cause that might be too extreme for you, or breaking the law, endangering lives. Having increased awareness about the topic and the issues in terms of the cause. What's holding back this cause from going further? And applying your skills and talents. This is, to me, where I think is the legal activism aspect of the spectrum of engagement. So, is this community a good fit for you? This is what you have to decide. What have they done to further their cause? How organized are they? How do they treat their volunteers? How do they treat you? So, in terms of making a decision to join that community or not, if you choose not to do so, you can continue your cause shopping experience on the Calopia website. Now, if yes, if you want to join that community, my suggestion is to apply your skills and talents within this community to help further your cause. Everyone has their skills, their talents. So what is the scope of the Calopia project? Well, a lot of different countries, just like Wikipedia, in multiple languages as well. So what was the inspiration for Calopia? I sort of touched on it. It's Wikipedia. I don't know about you, but I never would have envisioned this to happen, to take place. It's pretty amazing manifestation of humanity. Just to do a comparison, how many people do you think work for Wikipedia, considering its size and scope? We can make that a rhetorical. Well, this could be a larger conversation. That's true. There's volunteers, there's paid staff. I'm going to actually let the founder of Wikipedia answer this question.
Jimmy Wales was the founder of the most compendious encyclopedia ever, Wikipedia.
How many people work for Wikipedia?
10 people worldwide.
Good.
Just 10. And we're the number 8 website on the internet now. So, and those 10 are, other than the one guy who's the community liaison, pretty much don't edit Wikipedia at all. They're tasked with keeping the servers running and answering the phones and dealing with the press and things like that.
So the rest of the entries are not just the entries, but the checking of other things, the checking of alterations, the acceptance or denial of little extras, all that is done by volunteers.
Volunteers, yeah. Yeah, just the main community members, the really active people, the administrators, all volunteers, and just working in their spare time.
So unlike Google, which is probably the best known and certainly probably at the moment $700 a share or something.
Well, we're actually a charity. We're a non-profit organization.
You do? So you haven't, I'm not talking to one of the famous dot-com billionaires.
Oh gosh, no.
How extraordinary that you should create something that is so well known, is used by so many people, and still have not polluted it with adverts and things like that.
Yeah, well, I mean, for me, Wikipedia is something I think it's something that can be really special. And I think the core community is guided by that idea. So whatever criticisms we receive, well, we take it very seriously because we want to be good. And I think when people look back on the early days of the internet, which this still is very much the early days of the internet, 200 years from now, 500 years from now, they'll say, that was something that was good. There were spam and there was pop-up ads and nonsense on the internet, but this is something we remember that was worth doing.
That's the inspiration for Calopia. So I'm going to get into some features and benefits here. So I don't know if you could see that when I first went to the Calopia screen, it says in the top right, it defaults to Vancouver and English. It's basically, again, this is a mock-up website, it's just pretend. But basically the website will be intelligent enough to detect where you live based on your IP address, your location, and it'll guess your language. And you can always override this, but if you're, in Madrid, you're in Spain, it'll automatically detect your language. It'll assume you're in Spanish. Okay, so adding content. So volunteers, just like with Wikipedia, will be adding, contributing content within the various categories. And there'll also be ratings and reviews of various organizations. I think a lot of people are familiar with ratings and reviews on Amazon.com, Airbnb, and all kinds of things like that. Information integrity. So a lot of people would wonder, how are you going to make sure this information is accurate and it's not prone to abuse? Same thing with Wikipedia. We're not actually creating those standards or those methodologies. We're just stealing them from Wikipedia. Gatekeepers, as they call them, will be established in each CD for one or more categories. So I like this one. So optional automatic reminders. If you sort of pledge yourself that you want to find a cause, you want to start volunteering, but you've got a very busy lifestyle, the site can automatically send you reminders saying, we noticed that you haven't been cause shopping in a while, and that you haven't found a cause, because you'll be able to tell the site when you have found a cause. And so here's some suggestions for you. Maybe you want to try this based on your last shopping searches. So just really quickly here are a few additional resources to provide that I want to provide with this site. So information on starting a new chapter of an organization, how to regain momentum once it's lost, best practices when protesting, how to create petitions, promoting organizations such as Charity Science. Basically, if you're not familiar with Charity Science, it's an organization that allows you to find out which charities are more effective than others based on scientific, statistical surveys that are usually too convoluted for most people to read. Milestones achieved within various causes. I think that's really important to focus on the positive to show, once again, how far we have come. Acknowledging annual observances of World Humanist Day. Does anybody know when that is? June 21st. Great. Okay, really quickly here. Developer roles, software designer, developer, network administrator, crowdfunding specialist. I'm going to get into crowdfunding in a second, and social media specialist. This is sort of an example of the small team of people that would actually make this thing happen, me being the software designer. Bus advertisements. This is fun to think about, I think. I would love to have the budget to actually put up bus advertisements. I know the humanist movement has put out some interesting bus advertisements in the past, both in the UK and in the States. So all the brand name causes at low, low prices, with, I think, a charming salesperson there. One question: what do you stand for? And finally, leveraging your anger is our specialty. Okay, so getting into crowdfunding here. If you're not familiar with crowdfunding, it's basically a way that people can generate funding for a cause online. As little as $1 to $10,000 people can contribute. They get various rewards for their contributions. But timing is critical and for a crowdfunding campaign to start, because it's all about getting your momentum beforehand and then letting your crowd or your members or the people that are following what you're trying to create, letting them know when your crowdfunding campaign has started. Because if you're just kind of relying on the general population to fund your initiative, there's so many different crowdfunding campaigns out there, so it'll just get lost in the sea of them. So why gather endorsements? I mentioned at the beginning that the BC Humanist Association has endorsed this. It's about gaining momentum again to prepare for the crowdfunding campaign. And all it is that, saying that the organization, whatever it is, supports this initiative, that they think it's a good idea. It's not like they're having to provide money for it. It's just basically using the logo. So that's what's required to endorse a Calopia project. For any organization to do so, it's just allowing me, to use your logo on the Calopia website, stating that you endorse the Calopia project. So what can you do to help the Calopia project? So there's a Facebook group. This is part of gaining momentum as well, of getting people to know about the group and tell other people and liking it and all that social media stuff. Tell your friends, tell people you know, people you don't know, people you like, people you don't like. Okay, you can also send me information on the Calopia website. If you go to the bottom of it, you can just leave your email address. That's all. If you want to just do that, you'll be notified when the crowdfunding campaign will start. The rest of this information is about being able to provide your local organization to promote it once it's live. And that could be for Vancouver or other cities as well. There's also an area here to copy and paste your video testimonial, if you have one, of your volunteer experience. So in conclusion, I believe it's time for, as I said, one comprehensive list of local organizations associated with all major causes for all major cities. In short, I think it's time for Calopia. Thank you very much.